guys? It's Jeramy Poole here. I'm the CEO of Real Estate Social and the host of The Moment. Now, what you're doing right now is absolutely insignificant in comparison to what you could be doing with me January 26th at the Historic Theater downtown Seattle. Now, if I look familiar to you, it's probably because you've seen my talk show, The Moment. But what you don't know is that we are releasing for the very first time the Moment live experience, you guys. It's gonna be an all-day event. It's gonna be hosted by Cody Gibson, keynote by Tony Giordano. We're gonna have TED Talks by guys like Monty Burris from Toronto, Canada, Thatch Wynn, so much more. We're gonna be interviewing fantastic people like Stacey Jones, Jason Gosser, and so much more. The names go on and on, guys. Here's the deal. If you're in real estate, if you're thinking about going to real estate, this is an absolute must-attend event. It's The Moment Live, January 26th. You don't wanna miss it. I don't want you to miss it, so we'll see you there. Welcome to the show. My name is Jeramy Poole, and I'm the host of The Moment on Real Estate Social, where we explore and celebrate the necessary transformational process one must go through to achieve a high level of success. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're in beautiful San Diego, my old home, and we have the great pleasure of hanging out with no other than Seth from Sotheby's International, La Jolla, San Diego.
Hey, thanks so much for having me.
Seth, thank you so much, brother.
I appreciate it.
I've been really looking forward to this, couldn't wait. Seth, as you know, the show's called The Moment. What would you consider as being your defining moment or series of moments that have allowed you to be in this space? I mean, it's my understanding that you're one of the top, like literally one of the top brokers in San Diego.
Yeah, I mean, you know, for me, what was, you know, I think there's so many important moments that help kind of course correct your boat, right?
Sure.
But, you know, as you can tell, I like to have fun.
Yeah.
and as you can tell, you know, for me, we are always trying to do something a little bit weird, a little bit different, and truly establish a sense of humanity around our brand, right?
Beautiful.
And so where I got my humanity that ended up allowing us to become really our authentic self is back in around 2008. I'm not sure if you remember, but there was a recession.
I think I remember something like that.
Yeah, some people remember it. I remember it pretty well myself. And, you know, here I was 28 years old, 27 years old, you know, brand new car, brand new house, you know, you're here in San Diego, right off the boardwalk on the beach, living the life.
Sure.
And champagne budget beer taste, which was amazing, by the way, to flip-flop it for once in life. And then, you know, started really getting a taste of what it felt like to be successful and create a sense of ego and oh, this is who I am. And I had this bravado about who I was. And then it was all taken away from us. You know, and I remember just about 30 days after I closed escrow on my beach house, many of the financial institutions went insolvent. And it really caused me to reassign my sense of who I am as a person. My sense of self-worth from the time I became successful to around 28, when I was 28, when the market shifted, was around money and around luxury and around experience.
Sure.
And then I went through that recession, and it really made me a bigger person and a better person. And I can truly say that my moment was the moment I had to let my last assistant go.
Wow.
It was incredibly humbling, and it was a really difficult experience for me. But what was interesting was while I let my assistant go, and I went through my own financial collapse.
Sure.
As the country went through a financial collapse, I was short selling homes for people. I was helping people do deed in lieu of foreclosures, and it created not only a sense of my own humanity, but it made me connected to my clients going through really terrible things.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to have fun and smile when everything's great and the money is flowing and success is easy.
It's easy to run downhill.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
But when it became more complicated, that's actually when I recognized that the sense of connectivity was everything.
Everything.
And that everything else was completely secondary.
Yep.
And the very interesting thing about that realization I had was being real and having fun, and recognizing that not every day is going to be a sunny day, and being honest with clients about that has actually made us so much more successful than we ever dreamed of back when I was 28 years old.
Interesting.
You know, selling real estate really as a kid.
Right. Well, that's fantastic. Thank you so much for that. Honestly, guys, this is my first time meeting him face to face. We have spoken on the phone a few times.
Yep.
I knew immediately I would just fall in love with you. You have a great personality. And our audience has grown primarily because of our use of video.
Yep.
And so I wanted to talk to you specifically on camera today, right now, about your use of video, and more importantly, why are you in this ridiculous outfit?
I'm glad that we went pretty far into this interview without talking about the bunny costume, because to me, as someone who makes videos with my team, that's just real good comedy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you know, these are not actually my ears.
Oh, okay.
But I this morning when you caught us, because we're all kind of always filming or always doing marketing, that's kind of our core of our business. We are filming a holiday thank you to our clients for supporting us this year. And it's also just good fun. So
that's phenomenal.
This is one, if you know, Christmas
Story.
Thank you. Christmas Story, a little before my years. But Christmas Story, I'm dressed up as Christmas Story, then I'm gonna dress up as Buddy the Elf, then I'm gonna dress up as Charlie Brown with his meager little tree, and then the Grinch Who Stole Christmas. And we've crafted a fun story to connect with people. And it's interesting because we'll spend 10, 15, 20 hours making these videos that'll end up being 120 seconds at best. And my wife thought I was crazy for a long time. Some of our business partners probably thought we were crazy. A lot of other brokers went on listing appointments and knew I was going on listing appointments and said he is certifiably crazy. But what's interesting is the madness started really, really becoming something special.
That's
and it started actually really working.
I really appreciate that. I would like to think that I would do something very similar if I was selling homes.
You would look good in this costume.
I think so as well. You've sort of branded yourself as like the premier luxury broker in La Jolla, in all of San Diego. How do you work that with this funny, fun-living personality? Yeah,
it's a great question, and there was an epiphany. In fact, it came right around the time that we were doing a video for a stunning $5 million waterfront property in Carlsbad.
Okay, love that area, by the way.
Oh, it's amazing, and this has one of the few properties in California, one of the few properties on the American West Coast that has its own sand front. So you own the sand in front of your house.
All right.
Very cool. Very exclusive.
Cool. Yeah, sure.
And here's what we recognized, we all know this very famous Dalai Lama quote.
Sure.
Man is the most curious animal of all. He spends his life spending his wealth. He spends his life sacrificing his health in order to gain wealth. And then spends the second part of his life spending all his wealth trying to regain his health.
Yes.
I believe the same is true for youthfulness. We spend much of our youth working hard to try to become successful financially. And those of us that are lucky enough to become financially successful, which is most of our client base, then spend a lot of their life as they start to wind down and retire, spending their money to regain their youth.
Right.
You don't buy properties with tennis courts, swimming pools, water slides, waterfront homes, unless you truly want to be young and have fun again.
Right.
And so how we were inserted, how our brand identity asserted itself in our local luxury marketplace was, we got it. Like, we know that when you're 25 years old and you're trying to become successful, you're going to fake it till you make it, right? You're going to be stiff as a board, you're going to walk in, you're going to work hard, you're going to watch a lot of Boiler Room, a lot of Wall Street. And then
always be closing.
Always ABC. and then what's going to happen is in the second part of your life, you're going to wear a Tommy Bahama shirt. You're going to not care how your hair is done. You're going to be more obsessed with Wins Beer 30 and going to Maui and hanging out with your husband or your wife. And you're going to go and try to regain back of that youth. Our marketing look, our brand identity is, we get it. We understand what it's like to want to use real estate as a way to make us feel more free and happier.
That's perfect.
And so the way that we brand our properties is through lifestyle and enjoyment. And again, people thought we were crazy when we were newcomers and we had our foot in the door. Now the door's wide open. And people, I get people now all the time that are very stiff brokers that come to the classes and the events that I speak at going, I've been selling multi-million-dollar houses my whole life, and I never knew that someone could give me permission to be fun again. And so I see it as my lot in life, not always dressed in a bunny costume. This is certifiably a little crazy, but to let people live again, because ultimately luxury real estate is a lot less about necessity and a lot more about experience.
That's it right there. I love that. I absolutely love that. I love your use of video.
Sure.
And one thing that we're trying to push right now with all brokers is you got to use video. You have to brand yourself. You have to show your personality.
Yeah.
I mean, especially like for instance, in my market, Seattle market, there's 25,000 agents. How are you going to stand out?
Yeah.
Right? And so you have to use video to show who you are and show what makes you different.
Yeah.
What are some do's and don'ts of using video?
So for advertising principle 101, right? I'm going to look at the saying, harder than any other thing that I'm going to think about when I create video is the medium is the message.
Okay.
So, example, if I'm creating a video where I'm trying to connect with people on a very campy, colloquial, every man's man way,
okay,
we might shoot with a lower grade camera. We might use audio that's not as perfect.
Good point.
We might shoot it on an iPhone.
Yeah.
Right? That's why Facebook Live came out. That's why Instagram Story came out.
Yeah.
People were thirsting for authenticity.
Raw.
But at the same time, if I'm selling a 5 and 10 and whatever $1 million house, or I'm marketing myself to a polished demo,
right.
I'm trying to show myself as a polished person, I'm going to get a red camera, right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to get a $100,000 camera. I'm going to get a production company. I'm going to get LED lighting. I'm going to think through every single detail, because what happens when you create video is you're sending not just a message of the video to people, you're sending a message of, this is the quality of work I create.
Yes, yes.
And so if I take advertising out, for example, if I take advertising out in a luxury real estate publication, they've created the brand identity, right? All I got to do is slide into their brand. If I was to create the video on my own, I create how people see me.
That's it.
I don't have the ability to slide into somebody else's thing. So we craft everything from soup to nuts. So what I would say, obvious do's, know why you're shooting the video.
First and foremost.
No one gets the why. Everyone goes, look, I got to show a refrigerator, a countertop, and maybe the back of a shoulder of a pretty girl walking through a master bedroom.
Yep.
Well, congratulations. You just created a video that was very relevant 11 years ago, right? So now since a decade and a year has passed since that point, what we do is we try to, when we do our dues, we try to go, who's the person that's most probable buyer for the property, right? Is this a baby boomer property? Is this a hopeful homeowner with young children property? Is this a property where, it's a bachelor pad? Someone, just got divorced and is moving downtown to a penthouse and they're trying to live the fast life.
Sure.
So we try to, first of all, target our most probable demographic to watch the video. So we're creating messaging which is on trend with our demo, which, by the way, is super sophisticated for most people. Yeah. But then the next level is we choose the right cameras, the right light, the right music, the right everything that matches that thing. And I think, like anything in life, if you know the why you're doing it, everything else just falls into place. And I would say the most obvious don't, to answer your question and end it here, the most obvious don't is don't just blindly copy a video that you've seen before.
Yes, don't do that, please.
Exactly. We sit around. I have the amazing luxury of having incredible brains around me on our team. I sit around with my marketing director, our agents, our listing manager, everybody on our team that knows what we do and what we've done great in the past, and we talk about what we're doing for weeks, if not months, before we execute it. This shoot we've been talking about for several months.
Okay.
And so, there is easily $2,000 in felt costumes that we'll never do. I mean, unless I get super into being a bunny, this is the last time I'm going to be a bunny. So it's like the production value and all the little details that go into it are what create that look. And I will tell you, your demo that watches it, your buyers, your sellers, your people that see you, when they see the amount of effort that you put into something, they know that, like, you're in it. You're in real estate for the long run.
That's huge. And so that's kind of how I started on this whole journey of doing the moment. Is I came back in the space of real estate. I was starting to do mortgages, and I was starting to do pretty well, and I got bored. I was just a stiff suit behind a desk every day, and that isn't necessarily me. I'm an entrepreneur. I have to be out there hunting. And so then I said to myself, how could I have more fun while attracting more business? So I started to throw really swanky parties. Over the top parties for free. And then what happened from that is brokers were like, who is this guy Jeramy Poole? And why is he throwing these parties?
I love it.
And so on and so forth. And so from there it says, basically, if this guy can organize amazing parties and do all that, plus close loans, A, I like him. B, I want to send my deals to him.
Absolutely.
So I understand that 100%. In my market, agents are just popping up right and left.
Sure.
And everybody wants to go straight to the top. everybody wants to go after that luxury market. Do you think that you can do that as a brand new agent, or do you feel as if that you should earn your stripes?
Yeah. It matters what your bunny costume game's like.
That's true.
You got to keep it tight. And
you got to have a strong costume game, number one.
Yeah, you got to have a strong costume game. So even if your costume game is not tight, I will tell you, luxury is interesting.
Yeah.
Luxury buyers are no different than any buyer.
Okay.
Luxury sellers are very similar, but there's a chief difference.
Sure.
I've always wanted to be involved with high-end, and my first sale was $2 million, so I've always been involved in high-end at some level.
Sure.
But I always wanted to really be deep into it because I loved it.
What's the most expensive house?
We listed and sold a home last year. We listed for $20 million.
Wow.
We've got a lot of listings over $10 million. 8 figures is where we're starting to do a lot of our business.
Perfect.
But our bread and butter in the luxury market is like $2 to $4 million. That's where most of our stuff is. The market here in San Diego is a little bit slower for the bigger stuff.
Yeah.
But I will tell a young broker looking to get into it, here's the difference in servicing a luxury market and a normal market. Everything you do, you have to be able to look yourself in the mirror and go, I am doing this at the absolute apex of my ability.
I love that.
And that's the difference. When we have the great joy and great honor, sometimes I pinch myself, of working for billionaires.
Wow, really?
Our database now is, you will know these people. They're on the Forbes list. I have lots of attorneys that make me sign things, so I can't tell you who they are.
This guy's in a bunny suit selling homes to billionaires.
Yeah. Maybe some famous bunnies too. But but no, seriously, the reality of that is this. You do not get to be on the Forbes list unless you have committed your life to being excellent at what you do. So I will say one thing, anybody can be in the business of luxury and succeed and even excel. If you're the type of person that you walk by a dining room table and you kind of fix the napkins, you kind of fix the fork because it's askew. If you walk through and you're kind of fixing the chairs, if every little thing that's out of place bugs you, you've got a great future. If you're going home and you're playing PlayStation and you've got wrappers, the attention to detail in every arena. And one of the tips I always give young brokers is, you cannot build this company overnight. You have to, build the walls one day, then put in the windows. So what we do, brick by brick, and hyper focus by hyper focus. So what we do is, 2014 was a year of customer service.
Okay.
We only drilled into how to be excellent at customer service.
Wow.
2015 was the year of marketing. That's when all this madness happened. 2016 was the year of thought leadership. So that's when I started speaking. Now I've been speaking on stage for almost 10 years, but speaking on stage in a much bigger arena, right? California Association, National Association of Realtors, Inman News, big conferences. Wow. And so what we ended up deciding is, you are not going to decide I'm going to be great at customer service and do it in 2 weeks. It's going to take you at least a year.
Sure.
But rather than kind of like being so stretched thin, we're going to be excellent at one thing at a time. But the aggregate over time
compounds
is incredible.
Yeah.
It's like my friend who's a personal trainer. He goes, I always laugh when I hear these 20-minute abs. I have a new program. He always jokes. I got a new program I'm coming out with. It worked for me. I go, what is it? He goes, 20-year abs. And he goes, it's probably gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to sell, right? It's gonna be hard to sell. I'm like, yeah, 20-year abs. No.
For sure.
But that's us. We're the 20-year abs of real estate.
I love that.
We've been in the game for 15 years.
Consistency, strong. You show up every single day.
Absolutely.
Excellence.
And you have to, and much to that gym idea, you don't have to be incredible on a Tuesday and then go limp on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
You've got to be pretty good every day.
Yep.
And that compounding effect creates excellence.
I love that.
And that's, I think, what it is we all have mornings where we wake up and we won't want to do it.
Sure.
You have to keep putting in the work. I woke up this morning at 5 a.m. to try to pick out like bunny costumes and stuff. And remember too, we got $17 million in homes in escrow in the meantime.
Wow.
I got to do that too.
Right now you do?
Yeah, right now we do.
Holy smokes.
So that's kind of a big deal too, right?
Yeah, certainly.
And which one's more important? But that's really what it takes, I think, is just kind of putting your head down and being wildly detailed and being focused in that format.
Well, that's fantastic. I super appreciate that. Seth, you're obviously crushing it. You have been crushing it, and you're probably going to continue to crush it. Talk to us a little bit about what we're going to see from you in 2018 that we haven't seen from you yet in 2017.
So,
or just more of the same.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's going to be, we found our groove, but we are going far further doesn't make sense, does it? We're going to go a lot further down this road than we ever thought. Every time I think I'm going to slow down, we don't want to slow down.
Yeah.
We get tired, we take a break, and then we go further. And that's really, I think, where the future of our company is really going to be. What does that mean for 2018? We started tapping into the power of video for brand identity and sharing with people who we are.
Yeah.
And not just our kind of mushy, mission statement, but more so really who we are as people.
Sure.
And so what I want to explore, and I think Gary V really did a good job of this, is being very real with people in the moment.
Yes.
And we want our video to be that. So we've been sharing stories about homes and communities and concepts for a very long time. We're going to start sharing personal stories about us.
I love that.
And I think that's important for one important reason. Ours is the industry of we sell homes when people go through divorces, which are shattering, go through deaths, which are horrific to go through, probate sales, trust sales. People buy homes when they're hopeful. People buy homes when they're looking to make a major change in their life, or they just found out their wife's pregnant. And so what we're going to do is in 2018, we want everyone around us to know truly who we are.
Great.
And I think it does two things. One, it connects us at a much deeper level with people, which I think creates a much stronger brand, which is lasting. But I think fans. Oh, absolutely.
Is what you're creating.
Oh, we're getting over 100,000 views every single week on our Instagram page.
Every week.
If you compound that, that's almost 4.8 million views on Instagram
Good for you.
a year.
That's phenomenal.
But I'm sharing, I just announced my wife and I are having a baby.
Oh, congratulations.
Which is a big deal.
Okay.
And I share honest and real things, and I've always done it in written format. We're going to start doing it in videos. So we're going to start following around the O'Byrne team, showing people what we're doing. And the intent is not necessarily just to be, look at me.
Right.
It's also to really put the information out there for clients to go like, this is who you're getting involved with. Yeah. Make an educated decision. I have spent a long time hiding behind nice shoes and nice watches and fast cars. Yep. My whole goal is to do a full 180 degree and be unbelievably real with people.
That's phenomenal.
And I love Tony Robbins. I loved a lot of these charismatic speakers who share their stories very immediately when you get to know them. I want in our brand identity as a spokesperson for the O'Byrne team to just go much deeper.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, Seth, that was absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
And thank you for watching. We'll see you again next week. Hey guys, it's Jeramy Poole here. I'm the CEO of Real Estate Social and the host of The Moment. Now, what you're doing right now is absolutely insignificant in comparison to what you could be doing with me January 26th at the Historic Theater downtown Seattle. Now, if I look familiar to you, it's probably because you've seen my talk show, The Moment. But what you don't know is that we are releasing for the very first time the Moment live experience, you guys. It's going to be an all-day event. It's going to be hosted by Cody Gibson, keynote by Tony Giordano. We're going to have TED Talks by guys like Monty Burris from Toronto, Canada, Thatch Wynn, so much more. We're going to be interviewing fantastic people like Stacey Jones, Jason Gosser, and so much more. The names go on and on, guys. Here's the deal. If you're in real estate, if you're thinking about going to real estate, this is an absolute must-attend event. It's The Moment Live, January 26th. You don't want to miss it. I don't want you to miss it, so we'll see you there.